Lamar Jackson is back, and he is ready to take the Baltimore Ravens on a historic run this season. But he cannot do it by himself. The Ravens now need some reinforcements to propel this team into the postseason. We all know that the trade deadline is upon us. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., EDC, you are on the clock. But who can the Ravens realistically bring in to really solidify this roster and help us to continue to win games this season and give us a fighting chance in the postseason? Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked. There are a few names that I thought of that the Ravens can really go after if we are serious about making a run this year and trying to get into the postseason and hopefully win it all this year. Couple of names that I came up with. Well, the first one, well, not so much anymore, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jalen Phillips. He was number one on my list. We all heard this morning, Jalen Phillips has been traded to the Eagles. The Eagles. That is a team that we see year after year try to get better and improve their roster. They have deficits, right? But they said, listen, we went to the Super Bowl. We won it last year, but that's not enough for us. We want to win it again. So now they bring in some reinforcement for their team, and now they have Jalen Phillips, who has 3 sacks already this season. Now, he's 26 years old, and he's in his prime. He's got several years ahead of him. But the Ravens just decided, nah, we're not going to really go after Jalen Phillips. No thanks. We're going to pass on that one. So I thought about another one from the Miami Dolphins, Bradley Chubb. He's a little bit older. I think he's 29 years old. And so far this season, he already has 4 sacks. That's just tied with my guy, Odafe Owe, who we decided that we didn't need anymore. And we sent him over to the Chargers. But that's not what this video is about. So I move on. And like I said about Bradley Chubb, he is a little bit older, but we can certainly use him at 29 this year. I don't know how many more years he has left, but this year, if we're trying to make a splash and we're trying to improve our roster to give us a best chance to win, then you go get someone like a Bradley Chubb. Why? Because you already know the Dolphins aren't doing anything this year. They're 2 and whatever. And probably the Ravens ended their season for them with a win on Thursday night. Although Bradley Chubb did not play in 2024 because of injury, the year before that, he had 11 sacks in 2023. So this is someone who can get after the quarterback because the Ravens desperately need someone who's really a game wrecker in the trenches. We don't have that. Another player that the Ravens can consider to really bolster that defensive line is Kayvon Thibodeau. And listen, like I said about the Dolphins, the Giants really aren't going to do much this season anyway. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, I thought, hey, they got a quarterback now. They're going to get things figured out. They've got some receivers there. They've got some help. They've got some talent. You've got a really solid defense, but they're just not winning games. So hopefully they'll have a fire sale. Make the call, EDC. Go after a Kayvon Thibodeau. And if the price tag is too high for Kayvon, because I mean, it shouldn't be because he only has 2.5 sacks this season so far. But again, he's one who can disrupt. He's one who can really get pressure on the quarterback. And that's something that the Ravens have lacked this season. I'd venture to say the Ravens have really lacked pressure consistently and getting after the quarterback and sacking the quarterback ever since we lost Mike Macdonald. Ooh, that's a sore spot. And don't get me started because, listen, the Seattle Seahawks, with Mike Macdonald as their head coach, they are doing amazing this year. That was our bad that we didn't keep him and promote him to head coach. But I move on. The last player for the defense I think the Ravens can really target is Quinnen Williams. The Jets, again, another team, they just had their first win of the season. This is another team that's not going anywhere fast this year. Do me a solid. Do me a favor, will you, EDC? Go get Quinnen Williams and talk about an interior, bolstering that interior defensive line. He has 2.5 sacks this season, but this is someone who can really, who's known for his ability to get pressure on the quarterback, and he can stop the run. We've been struggling to stop the run ever since Nnamdi Madubuike went out. And I know some people might say, well, we weren't doing that great of a job when Nnamdi Madubuike was in. And true enough, that might be the case. but we're doing an even worse job now. So if we're serious about wanting to be contenders, you've got to go out there and get one of these premier D linemen or a premier edge rusher. You did not replace Odafe Owe, and I'm not saying that there is such a replacement, but you did not bring in another edge rusher. You didn't. You brought in secondary help. Like we need more members in our secondary. No, what we need is some help up front to relieve some of the pressure off of our struggling secondary. And the last thing I will say for today, this is like on my wish list. I don't really think it's going to happen because the Ravens just don't invest in their offensive line. We need some guards, 2 of them to be exact. Both our right and left guards they're just not it. They just don't cut it. We had no business getting rid of Kevin Zeitler. We need to call him, fall on the sword, beg him for forgiveness, ask to get in his good graces and bring him back. We need some help. Lamar Jackson in that Lions game, and I'm still upset about that, 7 sacks on Lamar Jackson against the Lions. Why? Because our offensive line is just not good. And some may say, oh, well, Yolanda, Lamar Jackson is probably part of the problem why he had so many sacks against him with the Lions. He held onto the ball a little bit too much. Okay, that may be. But again, I repeat, 7 sacks. That's ridiculous. I don't even know if we have 7 sacks total for this season. We might because we have a couple this past game. So we might have 7 sacks total as a team. But my point is, bring back a guard who knows the system, who's familiar with the team, is not going to take a long time to get acclimated. The learning curve is going to be very, very short. We can expect him to instantly contribute and bring some serious reinforcement to this offensive line that is struggling. The Saints aren't doing much. What are they doing? So I'm talking about these teams that really have struggled all season long, and they need to have a fire sale because they need to try and build themselves up for the time in the future. We can take advantage of that now. Go get Cesar Ruiz off the Saints. Thank you. We appreciate it. But what is that going to take from us? On our end, the Ravens are going to have to change that mentality. We're going to have to give up draft capital. If our bank account is looking a little slim in terms of we don't have a whole lot of money to work with, if we don't have multi-millions of dollars to spend, then the only other way that we're going to bring these players in and acquire them before tomorrow at 4 p.m. is we got to get rid of some of the draft picks. And that's not to say that we don't need draft picks. We do. But do we really need 25 every year? Especially when the draft picks that we bring in or that we use, the ones we pick, don't really pan out. Not really, not at first. Maybe the second, third, fourth year, we start to see some type of, contribution to the team, but certainly not straight away. Listen, if you are enjoying the content, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you are new, thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit the post notification bell so that you don't miss content released on this channel, because tomorrow night, Hendo and I will be right back here live streaming, giving our instant reaction, our instant thoughts about what the Ravens did at the trade deadline. Hopefully, we become active prior to tomorrow. Like, I would like to see some movement today. Why? Because other teams are making moves. Don't wait until the very last minute, Ravens, to go out and get sloppy seconds. Go out now, make a move, improve our roster, give us a chance to win. Well, family, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Go ahead, hit the like button for me. I appreciate it. It helps the channel a ton. I will see you back very soon. Let's keep our hopes up high that the Ravens go out and do the right thing, help Lamar Jackson, help this team, because we're just a couple of pieces away from being exactly where we need to be. So I will see you very soon. Until then, you take care, stay safe, and go Ravens.